Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Me too.
I'm Amanda.
I'm Peggy.
And you're watching the Junction Fiber Mill Millcast.
Welcome.
We are pre-recording this in February of 2023 to be aired sometime in March. 2024. Gosh, darn it.
I love it.
Can't even keep the year straight.
No need to.
Yes, so at the time you're seeing this, maybe I've had the baby, maybe not. But we wanted to for sure get this episode together because we are going to talk about a really great cause today.
Yeah, really very clever and a good thing.
Yeah. So there is an event on March 23rd that was brought to our attention by Erica Field, who designed the Nourishment Cowl, our last knit along, called Knit for Food.
Knit for Food. Love it. That's an Eat It Joe's title if I ever heard one.
I know.
Knit for Food.
We clicked on the link when she sent it. It is a knitting marathon.
I'm already in. I've begun one. Go ahead.
Okay, so it's a 12-hour knit-a-thon from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Saturday, March 23rd.
Okay.
And you raise money, and the benefits go to basically split between 4 of the biggest hunger prevention charities, which we're going to talk about in a little bit.
Okay.
So it's for a great cause. It involves knitting, it involves fundraising, and prevents hunger. So we decided we're in.
We're in. We hope you're going to be in.
Yeah. So we're going to get into a little bit more of how what we're in means exactly, but I first wanted to go to an interview I recorded with Laura Nelkin. She's the organizer behind this event. She's a knitwear designer up in the Finger Lakes region of New York, and I had a chance to sit down over Zoom with her and find out more about the event.
I love it.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us on the Millcast today.
Thank you for having me.
Could you go ahead and just give us a brief introduction of who you are? Introduce yourself.
Sure. My name is Laura Nelkin, and I'm a knitwear designer. I live in upstate New York in the Finger Lakes region. And what I do, to make a long story short, is I basically moved up here to go to college in the early 90s. And it's like 30 years later, and I'm still here. I just found home completely. So
that's great.
Yeah, it's good.
We invited you here specifically today to talk about this fundraising initiative that you're spearheading, Knit for Food. So what is it?
So Knit for Food is a 12-hour knitting marathon, and this is our 4th year holding the marathon. The first year we held it was in 2021. And the first year we raised, I forgot to have the numbers with me, but we raised like over $100,000 the first year. And the second year we raised in the $200,000 range. I'm embarrassed that I don't remember my numbers.
That's okay. We'll point people to the website.
Okay. Yeah. Excellent. It's all there. And then last year we raised $340,000, and it's all mostly knitters, but like some crocheters and quilters, because just knitting for 12 hours would be pretty hard on your hands. So we tell people, like, any kind of making or crafting, or if you're like signed up to go to a class that day, it totally counts. Like the thing is, a marathon should be hard, right? It's something that should be like a little bit of work and you have to focus on. So the funds that we raise, and I think that this is the very important thing, are being raised to help fight hunger and food insecurity. So we kind of targeted 4 organizations that are doing really excellent work in the field of fighting those 2 things, which in my mind, I feel like it's a solvable problem, hopefully, right? So the money that we raise, 100% of it is equally donated between World Central Kitchen, Meals on Wheels, No Kid Hungry, and Feeding America. So we tried to cover our bases with like food banks, kids, people who have mobility issues and are at home, and the elderly. And then World Central Kitchen, I don't know if you're familiar with their work.
I'm not, no.
They're so intriguing. So they are spearheaded by a chef, Jose Andres, who started them when he realized that there weren't a lot of like nimble ways to feed people quickly in crisis. Like if there's a hurricane or a tornado or an earthquake or a war, he can kind of get in with his teams very quickly to feed people with food that they're used to from that region. So you're not like coming in with pulled pork to like a community that doesn't eat pork, for example, right? And utilizing resources there, food there, chefs there, distribution networks that already exist in that place instead of trying to like come in with a whole team of
Yeah.
people and trucks or whatever. And their work is incredible,
Yeah, it's a
right?
great idea.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's just really kind of rethought kind of crisis feeding. Um,
Yeah.
there's a
So
great
what?
documentary about them.
Oh, awesome. We will find
Yeah.
it, link it in the show notes. What got you interested in this issue and why did you decide to start this?
Great question. So during the pandemic, my daughter came home from college, as most college age kids just kind of came running home to us for a little while. And once she finished her semester, she ended up getting a AmeriCorps position with our local food bank. So all summer long, she was working for the food bank, and her job was to register people who were hungry to like get in those lines of cars to basically like have somebody put food in their trunk. I'm sure you saw photos of
Mhm.
them in that time. And I had no idea what an issue hunger and food insecurity was in my area until I listened to her from 8 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon, answering the phone and registering people to get food. Like I
Mhm.
just had, I haven't really known a truly hungry day in my life, right? And it really woke me up to the issue facing many people in the US. And I think that summer I had heard about a knit-a-thon that a few 20 somethings had done during like the summer of 2020. And I was like, I wonder if we could do that, but like raise money to really help work towards something that would be part of the solution instead of part of the problem, right? And so I think the idea of getting to knit for 12 hours is very exciting. Like that whole like, sorry, honey, I can't do anything else. I am knitting to feed people today, right? Like I think it really resonates with makers, and also feeling like we're doing something good with our needles is really, really important.
Yeah,
So
as a person who used to do a lot of running before I had small children, I did a lot of races where we would raise money, and that's really common in the running community. But if I'm honest, this is the first time I've heard about this in the knitting community. So I think that's really intriguing, and it's great to see it moving into other areas than just like running races and that sort of thing.
right, yeah, but the model itself, I think it's kind of so simple and
Hmm.
really like elegant and easy to do and easy to explain to people. So basically the ways to get involved,
Thank
what
you.
we
That was going to be my next question.
right, I'm just like, I got my spiel down by
Yeah, that's
now,
awesome.
except for how much money we raised. So the ways to get involved are, one, to join the knit-a-thon, and it's really easy to join the knit-a-thon. You just go to www.knitforfood.com. We kept it very simple, and you'll see a link that says join, and you hit join, and then you just kind of give your name and you give your email address, and then you say how much your goal for fundraising. You don't have to reach it. And then you'll get a link back from GiveButter, which is the site that we use. And then you share that with your friends and family, and they sponsor you in knitting for 12 hours, just like if you were running. It's like the exact same model. The
Mhm.
other thing people can do to get involved is donate. So on that same page, they can click donate. When you go to donate, you can choose a team member. So if Junction Fiber Mill has a team, they could choose you, donate to you, they can donate to me. I tend to like to look for people who haven't really raised that much money and just kind of like miracle them $10, because it feels really good to get
Yeah.
the email that somebody donated in your name. So I tend to like kind of go through and just donate to people. And the minimum donation is $5. So not a big deal. Cup of, it's like a latte, like a matcha latte, basically, in a nutshell. Um, and the other way to get involved is to spread the word. So the biggest thing I find every year is the broader network we can get. Like the more people who hear about it, the more people, even if they don't end up joining this year, they might join in future years.
Mhm.
So I'm finding this year that some people who heard about it for a year or two, who are like, I don't really get that, now they kind of see the ball rolling. So we've got some really fun people on board every year, like you guys hadn't heard about it before. So
No, yeah, we heard about this through Erica Field, who's the designer of the Nourishment Cowl that we just did a knit along with, and she passed along the information, and we were On board. It just sounds like such a great cause, and you get to knit for hunger, which is amazing.
Amazing, agreed. The other thing I should say about the day is it's a 12-hour knitting marathon. This year it is on March 23rd, which is a Saturday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Hmm.
So that's your 12 hours right there. And every year we've had Zoom programming throughout the day. We have like sessions in the morning and sessions in the middle of the day and then afternoon and evening.
Hmm.
And this year we're doing like a 2-hour morning session, probably from about 10 to 12 on Zoom. And then around 12 to 5 or 6, there won't be any programming. And then we'll have evening programming again. And that is because we all get to be in the world a little bit more than we could be before. And I
Hmm.
find that there's a lot of public meetups. And I wanted to like give a window for people to really enjoy the Zoom programming, but also be able to like go and knit with other people for a few hours.
So how do
Um,
people access the Zoom programming or the events the day of?
that is an excellent question. So we send out an email the day before with a link to the Zoom. It's the same Zoom for like same link for every session. We just turn it on and off. And we'll have speakers from all 4 organizations. We had a game night last year that like I think I had to like run out and go to the bathroom at one point. I was laughing so hard. I was like, I gotta go. It was so funny. So we try to keep things really active. We have some knitting exercises and knitting ergonomics, like things to do for your body to keep you really comfortable. We try to do that in the beginning of the day so people kind of get some like skills on hand if they're starting to feel a little funky as the day goes on. And then hearing from all 4 organizations. And I normally try to find some kind of like documentary or film for us to watch together because it's just kind of fun to come together. And then we normally have a Spotify playlist that we build and then just like play music and everybody knits and listens to music together, which is actually my favorite part. It's like you see people stand up and dance and knit and just kind of, it's a
Yeah.
way for everybody to be together
So are people
wherever we're
just
coming in
working, are
from.
people bringing a specific project with them for this, or are they starting something new? Have you heard any interesting stories about what people are actually knitting?
I have, and I think that's a really intriguing thing. So some people say to everybody who donates in their name, I'm going to knit one of you something. And the day before, I'm going to choose a donor, and then you get to choose like what hat you want, or like I've got these 6 yarns chosen and these 3 hat patterns, and like the donor gets to pick which one is going to be knit for them. And then that's what they knit during the day. Some people knit for charity during the day. Some people just give themselves a goal of like maybe finishing up a whip or 2 that they've not quite like gotten to. But I've never wanted to do a like, this is the official knit for food pattern. Like I
Mm.
am a designer, right? And I certainly could do that, but it's enough that people are putting their energy out there and asking their friends and family to donate in their name. I feel like not centering any one designer or any one yarn company makes it so much more like everyone can get involved because there's less like limitations around it. So
Yeah,
we all have some knitting we could get done in a basket somewhere.
absolutely. I don't think there's any lack of that.
No,
I'm gonna
I
ask
have your
you.
yarn on Goldie behind me. Like I was
Oh, I
like,
was
oh,
wondering if
maybe
that
I'll work knit on that at some point.
I thought I recognized that. That's great. Goldie, I love that it has a
Yeah,
name.
because she's gold. It's
Yeah.
Goldie. Yeah.
So how many, okay, do you have to knit for 12 hours to be a part of this?
Well, I mean, there's no knitting police, there's no knit for food police. Like, of course, we're gonna take breaks and, grab some food and go to the bathroom and go for a walk or whatever. But I think the goal is like as much of the day as you can knit. It should be a little hard.
Yeah.
Right. But you also should not hurt yourself. So I find that if people like mix up their projects a little bit, I always end up sewing a little bit during the day or like crocheting or beading or something like there's, just kind of anything with my hands. But it's like a day for making and learning, like learning from the 4 organizations is always really interesting.
Yeah, and
And
they're gonna be on the Zoom
they
schedule,
will. So
correct?
they'll about 2 weeks before the 23rd, we'll come out with the schedule so people know like when World Central Kitchen is speaking and when Feeding America is speaking, just to get an idea of like what's happening when. And a lot of the public meetups, so there's a link at knitforfood.com with a link if you want to register a public meetup, if somebody's having a public meetup, and then also a link to look at all the meetups that have been registered so that you can see if there's one in your area. And those will let you know if they are streaming the Zoom or not. So you know if you want to like go there afterwards. I tried to last year have like a gathering at my house, and I was Zooming from upstairs, and then I was like running downstairs to hang out with people, and none of them watched the Zoom the whole time the Zoom was happening. They were just like so into talking. So,
So to each their own, as long as
their own.
the spirit, of raising funds for hunger and
Exactly.
knitting while we're doing it.
Exactly.
That's great. Are there any questions I should have asked that I didn't ask about it?
I don't think so. Those were great questions. And I kind of like filled in with the other bits, like what the day of looks like and how to join and how to donate. And certainly our email is right on that page. So if anybody has any questions, we also have an FAQ that's linked there. We have shareable social media images if anybody needs anything for like sharing while they're fundraising. And we do use the hashtag knit for food. So that's a great way to meet other people who are knitting for food and get fundraising ideas. We definitely always share fundraising ideas as people come up with them. So
that's great. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
You are so welcome. Thank you for having me.
I hope it's a huge success this year.
Me too. Thanks.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, she has a really great energy for this, and she has, it's just amazing in the couple of years since she started doing it, the difference that one person's idea has made.
I'll tell you, combine vision with passion and you're off to the races.
Yeah. So I talked to Laura a little bit after the interview just to sort of get my mind around how could Junction Fiber Mill really be the most effective to sort of help raise funds and get involved with this event. And what we decided to do is to create our own team through the Knit for Food page. And we would love as many of you to join our team as possible. So it can be a donation of any amount to join our team. We're going to link it in the show notes, but it doesn't have to be a large amount. It can be as generous as you want. But join Junction Fiber Mill's team, and we are going to send you an invite for the day of the event to a 1-hour Zoom sometime when there's not the official programming going on.
Okay.
So just be sort of a get together, knit together over Zoom as part of the day. In addition, what Laura mentioned is really effective is if you all go out and create your own fundraising teams through the site.
Okay.
And she mentioned, I thought this was great, knitters are super generous people in general.
Yeah.
You probably all have a friend, a family member that you've knit something for in the past. These are the people to send your team link to and say, remember that hat I made you a few years ago? Now's the time you could show your appreciation monetarily and donate for this really great cause. And 100% of proceeds are going to these 4 organizations.
Is that right? That's excellent.
Yeah. So join our team so that you can be a part of the Junction Fiber Mill team and help us toward our goal. We don't have a specific monetary goal at the moment, but we really just want the number of folks on our team to be large. And then we'll see you on March 23rd. And during the event, we are going to do a little something special to sort of say thank you for donating and joining our team. So you'll have to find out what that is on the day. You'll probably get to see my baby because by that point the baby sure as heck better be out.
Better, yeah.
and knit. And some other fun ideas that Laura gave were so they've got a listing of public meetups if you want to get together in person with folks. There might be one in your area. Also, feel free to organize within your own knitting social circles and create a private meetup. Get together at some point during the day. Doesn't have to be all 12 hours.
Right.
But get together with friends and knit. Go out in public and knit. That's super fun. And one other that I loved was to motivate people to sort of join your team. She had this idea to if you're a super fast knitter and you know an easy pattern, you could make everyone that donates something.
Whoa.
That was, I thought, a little crazy. Or you could pick one at random. So knit a hat during the day, donate it to somebody who donated to you. So
perfect.
So many fun things to do. So we hope you'll join us, join our team, help us fundraise a little bit of money for helping fight hunger, and get out there and do some extreme knitting. Full disclosure, as many of you may understand, with a newborn, I will not be knitting 12 hours straight. That is an impossibility, but I will be there in spirit knitting that day.
I feel like I did almost 12 hours straight this weekend.
Oh my gosh, that's a great transition.
Yeah, I've been knitting a lot, and I'll still be working on this on the 23rd of March.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm so excited.
All right, this is my very favorite knit bag that Vicki Sheehan made for me years ago.
Yeah, it's
how
so cute.
Is that fabric?
Sheep and cows.
Yeah, we ignore the cows. So I am knitting. Hold on.
This looks
pages and pages. This is Thea Coleman's. It's brand new, smoked orange by Baby Cocktails, which is Thea Coleman. I'm sorry, I don't have the color covered. But remember, I dyed that red.
Yes.
Okay.
Look at you.
This is a lot. So I am knitting. Wow. So that'll give you a sense of what I'm up to.
Cable.
Cables, and it's not a bobble exactly, but there's at one point where you're making 5 loops.
Yep.
And then you've got to, knit all 5 together.
Oh, are you using your special doohickey?
No, I'm trying to not. That what the instruction says is, if make it loose so that you don't, so that you can actually go in there and knit all 5. Sometimes I can, and sometimes so it's slow going.
Yep.
But I am loving the color.
It is beautiful.
There's little bits of irregularity in the coloring, and I'm actually okay with that.
Yeah,
but anyway,
it gives it a little bit of like a heathered look too.
Right.
Just like subtle.
So this is a cardigan, and I'm knitting it from the bottom up to the armholes, but this is going to take me forever.
Yeah.
I mean, I know this doesn't seem like a lot.
I don't know. You
but
got
this
a
is
lot of progress.
Hours and hours.
Right. Because
fortunately,
you had no one home for.
Right.
Like...
Todd was gone for most of the weekend. Fortunately, I had a good book on tape. Occasionally, I had to.
What were you listening to?
I'm not going to admit it. It's a chick fantasy thing, and it's I won't even.
All right.
Maybe when I finish it, I'll decide whether I want to acknowledge out loud the title.
It's too funny.
It's not porn. I just want to be clear. Although there's certain sections. Well, whatever. But
no shame. You gotta do what you gotta do.
But sometimes I had to, pause it and go, okay, what row am I on?
Yeah,
and then, when you had to think, you got to turn the book off.
It looks like it's probably like a 12 row or 8 row repeat or something.
It's a
like
10 row repeat.
Yeah, so you gotta learn it.
Yeah.
It's
anyway.
Great. Oh, so these are the bobble things
right.
you're talking about.
Yes, they're like little stems.
They look like sort of vegetation of some
sort.
Yeah. Really
leaves and stems. In any case, that's what I'm knitting. And I will be knitting this for months.
Okay, I don't know. You made a ton of progress. I don't know if I believe you. I think once you get...
Oh!
I made progress too. I've been doing
you did.
A ton of knitting. We watched... Oh my god, it's such a disturbing movie. I knit through it. It kept me grounded. I shouldn't have watched it this close to birth. It's been really sticking with me now.
What was it?
7. Have you seen it?
Oh, yes.
From 95 or 94.
Oh, my God.
I know.
Gwyneth Paltrow, Morgan Freeman, and don't say it, Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
I don't know when I saw that last, but it sticks with you. I was 4 years
old when it came out, and I was like, it was such a good movie. I was on the edge of my seat. Our friend came over to watch it.
You watched it when you were 4?
No,
okay.
Just, this weekend.
Okay.
But it came out when I was 4. I'm dating myself. I was born in 91. Okay,
The
guys,
7 Deadly Sins.
Yeah, but we were like, it was one of those gripping movies, and we had it on the projector.
Wow. Yeah.
Anyways, so we all were like, oh, what a great movie. And then on Sunday, I kept thinking about it. I was like, why am I in this, kind of negative mood? And so I told Cody, he's like, I gotta go upstairs and get under the covers and read a book for a little while.
Yeah, a happy book.
Yeah. Yeah, and so, anyways, I watched that, but I did knit through it, which gave me
you were probably...
Yeah. And my daughter, she is, starting to get a little more independence, where I can, sit on the rocking chair and, just sort of look up from my row every now and then to, be like, I'm still here. Yeah. I'm still paying attention to you, but this is great. Can we just... Mama's much happier.
Those Duplos are working?
The Duplos are working, and it's just other toys. I think it's just a stage thing, hopefully.
Yeah.
Anyways, without further ado, here is my mod sweater. I started this less than a week ago. And I'm like...
Oh, and you've got your markers for your buttons, and then this is going to come together, or it's going to overlap like that?
Yeah. So this, I'm so proud of myself. Someone gave a hack, I think... about when you do button rows, to put markers on where the buttons should go at the other end of the row, so you remember, which I was excited that I remembered that.
Okay.
And I've got 2 buttonholes. There's only one more buttonhole to this placard.
Okay.
And then it gets joined, and then I'm gonna really be off to the races because I get to just knit. Right now the purl rows are taking some time, but I finished a full ball of yarn in less than 3 days. Which
That's impressive
for me. Very impressive.
And again, it's your sheep.
Yep, this
plus
is
mohair.
Brownie, the sheep.
Brownie who's getting oatmeal-y.
Yeah, she's turning blonde.
Yeah.
And this is Cowgirl Blues Silk Mohair Blend, which is just a really lovely fluff to add to less fluffy. Well, this is fluffy, but it doesn't have the glow.
Wow.
So
Spectacular.
I'm very excited about this, and it's like mindless enough that
and that's going to be so warm.
It's going to be warm, although it's supposed to it's supposed to be more of a summertime sweater, but it has short sleeves, so I may decide to go long sleeve. I don't know, we'll see what I decide to do, because it is going to be warm.
It is going to be warm, and it would be gorgeous as a long sleeve.
But the short sleeves are so cute. They have balloon, they're like balloon. I've never done this before, but they come into a little bit of a balloon.
Yeah.
Before the cuff here.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't know. I'll try it on when I get the body done and decide what I want to do. But anyways,
Sounds
it's coming
good.
along, and I'm very excited to have some energy towards knitting right now.
Yeah, excellent.
We'll see what happens when the baby comes. All right. Well, anyways, we will see you guys very soon. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
And please consider donating to our team and starting your own team and knitting for food on
Knit for
March
food.
23rd. Bye.
See ya.